Foods under 25 calories that also have a bang for the buck. If you talk to most people about low calorie foods or filler foods that you could eat throughout the day, they're gonna give you basic things like, oh, maybe just some leafy greens or some celery that, maybe pack a little nutritional punch, but let's get granular and find things that really give us a lot of bang for the buck with very, very minimal calories. Now, these aren't foods that you necessarily just wanna snack on. They're foods that could make up the bulk of a dish. Because if the bulk of the dish is relatively low calorie, it leaves you more room for protein to just take up the rest of it and ultimately lose weight, right? So let's jump right in. Okay, number one is one that's made an appearance on this channel a lot, and that is Shiritake noodles. Okay, Glucomannan fiber. So Shiritake noodles, those shiny little clear noodles that you get in the refrigerated section of a grocery store that are like $2, they're still cheap. I've literally even seen them at Dollar Tree before, so price isn't an issue. Okay, they are 97% water and 3% glucomannan fiber. They are almost a 0-calorie food. They pretty much are. I mean, you could eat a cup of it and have less than 5 calories, but that would be a lot of fiber. The cool thing is there was a study published in Obesity Medicine that found a direct correlation with their meta-analysis between glucomannan fiber ingestion and pretty serious weight loss because it fills up and it swells in your stomach. So it's not just a practically 0-calorie food, it's one that gives you a lot of benefit throughout the rest of the day. Not to mention it's such a soluble fiber. If you are struggling with a poor lipid profile like cholesterol, it can potentially improve that. I know that's not as much of news anymore, but still worth noting. A quick fun fact too, if you do mix it up with a tiny bit of olive oil, a tiny bit of basil and garlic, I know that adds some calories, it really does taste good. It almost comes out like a Mediterranean chow mein because the noodles are kind of slippery. I know that sounds weird, but it's not like traditional Mediterranean pasta because it doesn't have that consistency. It's more slippery. It's hard to explain, but try it.
Personally, I get tired of feeling like I have to double check every single ingredient when I go to the grocery store. That's why I'm a fan of Thrive Market. So I put a link down below for 30% off all of your groceries through Thrive Market with your first order. So Thrive Market makes it so you can sort by different diet type, you can sort by food category, all kinds of things, and do your grocery shopping online, and then it gets delivered to your doorstep in a couple of days. It is by far the easiest way to shop, but most importantly, it's easy for me because I feel like I can trust the ingredients. What they focus on is sustainability. They focus on quality. They focus on making things available when a lot of times the right foods aren't available. You go to the grocery store and you have to sift through dozens of products to find one thing, and then you finally look at the ingredients and realize, I can't have this anyway because it's got garbage in it. So that's what Thrive Market's all about, and that's why I stand behind what they do. So that link is for 30% off your entire grocery order and a free gift, and then it gets delivered to your doorstep. It's the most convenient thing, they're trustworthy, and it's good food. It's foods that are things that I would typically eat. Plus, I don't have to go to the grocery store, run into my neighbor, have to talk forever. It's just super easy. So check out that link down below, again, for 30% off plus a free gift from Thrive Market.
Okay, the next one I want to talk about is one that has been in my life a lot recently since my wife started making really good mushrooms, and that is white button mushrooms. Okay, white mushrooms in particular are the lowest calorie, but all mushrooms are very low calorie. Here's the deal. They are still 91, 92% water. The rest of the material is pretty much carbohydrate, fiber, and a little bit of protein. Okay, so with mushrooms, the main benefit that you are getting is they're super rich in what are called beta glucans. So a little bit of mushroom packs a powerful gut health punch. Beta glucans are bunches and bunches and bunches of glucose molecules bound into a very tight package that the body cannot break down. So when they end up in the gut, they actually ferment a little bit, and those polysaccharides feed the cells within our gut, but also feed the bacteria within our gut. So you get a huge gut microbiome bang for the buck, which is hugely cool. Another thing that you can do is you can use mushrooms as a base for just about anything. Okay, so if you wanted to say, slice them up really thin and put a little bolognese on top of it. So you could do it in place of noodles. You could do it in place of rice. You can chop them up. People forget about mushrooms. They're so darn cheap, they're so effective, and they fill you up really good, not to mention they're great for the gut. Okay, this next one is very 1993, but for whatever reason, it went away, and now it's starting to come back, and that's good old-fashioned egg whites. You see, we have so much focus on the benefit of the whole egg right now, and trust me, I'm all about the whole egg, that we forget that, wow, egg whites are a great thing. So many people say, well, don't just consume the egg white because you're missing out on all the nutrition from the rest of the egg. Well, that's great, but what if you really are controlling calories significantly? One egg is going to have 15 to 20 calories just in the white, and you're looking at 4 to 5 grams of protein. That is like the best bang for the buck protein to calorie ratio you could possibly find. So absolutely, hard boil a bunch of eggs, save the yolks for another time, put those on a salad later or something, and just munch on the whites. Have 4 or 5 egg whites and you're looking at less than 100 calories and a whole meal's worth of protein. It's a no-brainer. Number 4 is one of my favorite fruits, and that's strawberries. It's so funny because for a long time when I was a very, very strict ketogenic dieter, I was afraid of berries. Like I didn't even want to touch fruit. And then I realized like, holy cow, a half a cup of strawberries is still like 90% water. You're still looking like 20 calories into half a cup of strawberries, and you're looking at only 7.7% of that entire half a cup of strawberries being carbohydrates, most of which is fiber. It's practically a free food. It's a no-brainer once again. But when it comes down to bang for the buck, as far as vitamin C is concerned, vitamin C to calorie ratio, you're getting a ton of vitamin C for a very small amount of calories with strawberries. So if you're on a diet and you're also concerned about maybe getting sick or whatever, might be something to consider. And the polyphenols in strawberries also help combat some of those free radicals that are floating around our bodies. Number 5 is one that I'm gonna be sipping on today because for whatever reason I'm freezing, probably from the cold plunge that I did this morning, and that's bone broth. Not only is it something that's just easy to sip on and kind of satiates you and makes you feel like relaxed and not hungry, but there's also nutritional value. People forget this. It's not like chicken stock or beef stock. Bone broth, you're really simmering the bones, and depending on how long you simmer, you can extract a lot of nutrition out of the marrow and out of the bone. Okay, a whole lot. But to keep it very simple, you're at least getting a lot of glutamine, which is tremendous for the gut. It helps support the gut lining. So if you have a sensitive stomach, or maybe you're dieting and your stomach's just growling all the time and it just feels disrupted, sipping on some bone broth might be the way to go. We're talking 1 to 1.5 cups, 20 to 25 calories. Number 6, now I am a weirdo and I just eat this stuff straight up. But if you haven't tried eating it straight up, you should. Have you ever just taken a spoon and just eaten salsa? You see, it's kind of funny. When I was first going through my weight loss, my friends used to make fun of me. I had this one friend that was significantly older than us, and he always laughed because he said, Thomas takes his cornflake-sized tortilla chip when we go to a Mexican food restaurant, and I would just kind of like dip it in salsa, and I would just get my own section of salsa, ask for my own salsa, and I'd just eat it, like pretending I was eating it on the chip, but never actually eating the chip until the end. So I'd have like a fraction of a chip along with like a bucket of salsa. The bottom line is that you're looking at practically no calories. You're looking at 25 calories or so for like a half a cup of salsa, plus you're getting garlic, plus you're getting onion, all these things that are prebiotics and are gonna have huge effects there. I think we just forget because it's just a dipping agent usually, but salsa is a straight up food. And there's a study published in BMC Obesity that demonstrated that people that consume spicier foods tend to lose weight faster. And it has to do with the capsaicin. I've talked about this before. Maybe it's negligible, but there's definitely a correlation there. Number 7, we have to get a little cliche, and that is celery. I did mention it earlier. Here's the deal. I know celery ends up on everybody's low calorie list, but it ends up on everybody's low calorie list for a reason, okay? We're talking 95% water, and it pretty much has like nothing else. It's water, some cellulose, a little bit of fiber, and that's really it. But the cool thing is it does pack a nice little punch with luteolin, and you've probably seen some of my videos talking about that, because luteolin is really surfacing as a powerful compound to really regulate gene expression that has to do with inflammation. So if you're dealing with inflammatory issues, supplementing luteolin may not be bad. You're probably not gonna get enough from celery, but if you're eating a fair bit of it, yeah, it could add up. The next one is one that you're not gonna really dive into and just take a bite out of it unless you're an interesting person. Actually, my daughter does this, which is very odd, but whatever. It's going to be lemons and limes. Okay. Yeah, lemons and limes pack a powerful punch as far as vitamin C is concerned, as far as amylase inhibition, slowing down carb digestion, and ultimately super, super, super low calorie. You're probably not gonna just eat them. I mean, literally my daughter will take a lime and just like peel it and eat it. It's very interesting. And when I do that, I feel like all the enamel on my teeth goes away. But the point is, you wanna add it to water, mix it into things. It is a way to just get some easy nutrition with very little calories. Number 9 is zucchini. This is funny because when you think zucchini, you almost always think like caloric dish. Okay, if you go to a restaurant and you get zucchini, it's gonna be covered in Parmesan, it's gonna be covered in olive oil, all which is fine. Like, I think that's great. But if you're trying to eat it as a low calorie food, just steam it. 1 cup of zucchini has about 20 to 22 calories. That's it. Like practically zilch. And it's a lot of volume. So if you cook that up, put a little bit of apple cider vinegar, put a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, that alone has no additional calories, and it tastes phenomenal, and it's something that you can munch on. Plus, it's super rich in zeaxanthin and lutein, which are powerful for the eyes. So if you are someone that is maybe dealing with insulin resistance or diabetic retinopathy, this is a compound that might help your eyesight a little bit, so don't neglect it. And the last one on the list, I've saved my favorite for last, that's gonna be kimchi. Now, sauerkraut makes the list too, but I'll always choose kimchi over sauerkraut, A, because I've seen the evidence-based research, but also because I think the kimchi just tastes a heck of a lot better. You're getting the onion, you're getting the garlic, you're getting some of the other things that are thrown in there, you're getting some of the spices, you're getting some of the capsaicin, which has a weight loss effect, and it's tremendous for the gut. But sauerkraut, the evidence is a little bleak on if it's beneficial for the gut, but at the end of the day, it's still like 90% water because it's cabbage, and it's fermented, and it's probably really good for you either way, and it's pretty much easy food, an easy bulk with practically no calories. So again, use these things however you like. I think the egg whites take the cake as the one that's gonna allow you to build some muscle. The zucchini is probably the best one when it comes down to like satiation and just overall bulk, but kimchi probably tastes the best. I'll see you tomorrow.